in both English and Swahili. And later we're going to invite you to contribute through our mobile phones, which we're going to tell you later about our main topic of the day. But first we're going to speak about the issues that happened, the main events here in Tanzania as well as outside. To invite you is Mr. Sebastian Kolo, and as usual, I have beautiful ladies, two beautiful ladies with me today. I have Adija Zimbwe as well as Nancy Mansenga. And when I say they're beautiful, they tend to blush here and there, but I understand that because, I can do that. How have you been?
Great. It's been a fantastic week.
Yeah.
Been waiting for Capitaltvtz.
Yeah, the way you look, it looks like it's been a fantastic week. But there has been also some bad news, like for the citizens of the United States, where President George H. Bush, the father of George W. Bush, died at 94. He was 94, so some people would say he was old enough, like he did it all. Okay. But what can we remember out of this one of the presidents of the United States of America? Start with Hadija.
Being one of the 41st president of the United States of America, that's a great number. And people to continue remembering you with the legacy that you left, it's a brilliant thing. When you speak of George H. Bush, Herbert Bush rather, he has been a fantastic president of the United States, and he actually ruled for only one term. Yes. Which is something I liked about him, and it actually showed that he was a man of his own wisdom and legacies that can never be compromised no matter what. And he stood up for what he actually believed in, fighting for the Second World War, participating at the war. Then he really knew what his country actually is looking forward to and the places that he wanted the country to go for. So he was a great president, and leaving the legacy as well to the family and making one of the kids being the president of the United States of America. He has been a very successful man.
Yeah, yes, Nancy, among his weak points was that during his reign, there was a problem with the economy. The economy became a little bit weak when he was in his prime. But the only problem is that we don't talk about the bad issues when a person has died. But measuring the two things that happened, the weak economy, comparing to the way that he was participating, make sure that the Americans are living a better life. How do you think we can remember President Bush?
I think during his presidency, what was so difficult for the United States, I think they just come out of the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he had to regroup the country and get everyone together and start walking this journey towards economic prosperity. So I think it would have been extremely difficult for him to just make a success of that because, as you know, the Vietnam War had a lot of bad vibe. A lot of countries didn't like the United States for the methods they used to fight the war. So I think it was a difficult time for him to be president.
Yes, it was difficult for him to become president, but it's not as difficult nowadays as people are inventing new things and new things. Like, for instance, just this past week, we witnessed that the Chinese have decided to invent a new baby, a newborn person who is going to be AIDS-free. But it was also AIDS, the International World AIDS Day, the 30th of November. Now, regarding this, like when you check about the people that are inventing people who cannot be infected with HIV and AIDS, and with regard to the word AIDS Day, do you think this is a step forward, or do you think this is just some mere talk? Adija.
It's a step forward, that's what we're looking forward to, as a country. Even in Tanzania, Benjamin Mkapa Foundation, they also commemorated the day by also looking forward for the negative HIV people remaining negative. Yes. That's the best part of it. Like, we totally forget about ourselves. When you're HIV free, you think like, I am done with this. But you don't know that you're the next victim. True. So they're looking forward for a different approach to actually bring together the affected people and the non-affected people so that they can both be addressed at the same time using different approaches unlike what they are using right now.
Yes.
Absolutely. And, from what Hadija said, I think the battle against AIDS, I will not say has been won, but I think good mileage has been made.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking that what remains as the biggest struggle is keeping the people who are negative to stay on negative. And the weird thing is, I don't think people now are as scared of AIDS as they used to be back in the day, because they're thinking like people who have diabetes, high blood pressure, etc., actually at a high risk of dying early, and as opposed to
cancer.
And cancer, absolutely. So I don't know if. I don't know, rather, the reason why people are getting so complacent that, oh, it's HIV, but they're forgetting that any illness, the impact it has on communities is massive, you know. So I think the conversation needs to be progressive. People need to continue talking about HIV and AIDS in school and etc. And I don't think we should have this laid back attitude, because even if there's medication, being on medication for life is in itself really, really difficult.
But my question has been, do people still care for the disease?
Okay, with regard to how it has changed, first is let's check out the motto for this year's the 2018 World AIDS Day. They've come up with 5 issues that need to be done for AIDS to be like less scary and for it to be reduced in high numbers. They say the 5 things to do so that to make sure that AIDS become less scary. They say you should first of all know your status, that we all know, and then you should stop the stigma about HIV and AIDS and think of it as just another disease, and then you should educate yourself about about the disease itself. There are some people who think of it as a very, very huge problem, and they tend to like alienate other people who have AIDS, and then you have to be an ally of the people who are fighting against AIDS, and you donate to AIDS-related issues. So, like, if all these 5 issues are being followed upon, I think we can change about that. But let's move on. Now let's get back to East Africa, where in Uganda last week a Ugandan capsized boat had an accident. It was a boat where they were having fun. They were not like traveling from one place to another. You can say there were people that were going to work or back from work, but suddenly, unfortunately, a wild wave came and it just flipped the boat around. What do you think about this, Nancy? Do you think there was some let's say security or some safety issues that were to be considered and they weren't considered?
I think what people forget, a very important fact, is that when you're dealing with air and water travel, it's one of the means of transport that carry the highest risk. So in a boat, if you're just having fun, any imbalance can cause the boat to flip and you're dead meat. Same to air travel. So if they were having fun, I don't think that security was at the back of their mind, that we need to be careful. So I think this was another terrible incident like what we had here in Tanzania, in Budia Island, where people have been drinking, having fun, and things get out of control.
And it's also harder to like control people who are having fun. You know, it's easy to control people who are sober.
Sensible, yes.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, like when you have people having fun, they tend to be less protective of themselves, and that's where the problem starts. If people are just moving from one place to another, they're thinking about the safety issue. But when they are just having fun, it's easy for them to get laid back and be like, oh, we're cool. We're like in the mainland.
You know, the bigger problem actually started when this boat, it actually has not been registered.
Okay.
It's an unregistered boat.
Okay.
So I don't think, first of all, it has not been registered means it has not been inspected.
Yes.
So perhaps they didn't even think about the security measures on first hand. And then taking these people to a tour, having fun. We saw these pictures when these guys, they were having fun, they're posting on the social media. Come on, nobody wore a safety gear there. We didn't see anything. I didn't see anything that was safe for them.
Yeah.
But a few hours later, seeing these people floating above the water, it was a tragedy.
But then what I'd like to sort of like add, I don't know why we sort of like safety measures for our boats, sort of like the vessel, water vessels is not sort of like
Conducive.
yes, conducive, because if you allow a vessel to get into the water, there's definitely like a lake patrol or sea patrol people who are supposed to take care of these things.
And wondering that we also had the same issue a few months ago with the same lake.
Yes.
We thought like the rest of the
In the
countries,
Tanzanian part,
yeah, like our fellows in Uganda and even Kenya would take cautious of it.
Yes.
But unfortunately, it was just like a Tanzanian issue. Let them deal with it.
You know, like,
and then a few months later, they're sailing in the same boat.
Absolutely, and what's weird, it's like they were actually procuring equipment to help with the rescue.
Yes.
I was like, what's this?
So that's the problem that we have. But you know, let's head back to Tanzania, and we have some good news now. One of people that I know that I met, Native Music, just won the Afrima award, and this is a good news. This is some good news because not so many people, you know, with this era of the likes of the big artists in Tanzania, some of the artists have forgotten. And not so many people are thinking about those artists. The likes of Native Music, who when he goes to concerts, he gets a lot of applause, but he doesn't get as much media attention as the other artists. And then he wins an Afrima. This is a good thing for
I
him.
think the thing with Native Music, people don't take him seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's a great musician.
And that's a good, you know, that's a good spirit. Like you can use that weapon to win something, and then people don't like they don't expect anything from you. So anything that happens from you is good. So you can work hard in silence, in real silence. You know, for big artists like the likes of Ali Kiba, if he decides to work in silence, people will find out what he's working on. But when you're on the shadow, nobody's looking at you.
Absolutely. And you can actually tell when he went to receive the award, actually he couldn't bear to give proper words. You know, he was overwhelmed, couldn't believe about it. And the category itself, come on, being so small, like, you know, he's not a small fish, he's a big fish, but sailing on. Just
being nominated was big enough for him.
Exactly, and not just for Tanzania, imagine for Africa.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big thing for him. I do love his music, I do like his sounds, I like this guy. And seeing him going places, I'm so happy about
him. It's like he has to have more confidence now that he can crack into external markets.
Yes.
Because if people here don't dig him, other people will appreciate his music.
Yeah, and the good thing is, the good thing about him is that he's good people. First of all, because I know him, and he's also sellable. He's a superstar material. The way he looks, the way he sings, the way he shows up in shows and everything else.
And he's a good dancer.
And he got the looks too.
Yeah, it looks good. I can't say much about him looking good. You can.
He does look good. He does look good, right, Khadija? He's a good looker.
Now let's head on to a motivational story about Black Coffee. Now we all know about Black Coffee. He has won a BT award. He has won several awards, including the Afrima award. He's been so big in Africa. He's from South Africa, and he's known not for singing but for his hands. Now he's been DJing while wearing a glove. But now he decided to reveal his disability. It looks like he had an accident when he was young, and so his hands are not as fit as other people's hands. But at the same time, he does a thing that only depends on his hands.
Exactly.
So I think this is a motivational thing. You don't have to have what people will consider perfect to do something with what you have.
Yeah, and one of the things that I liked about him when he was revealing his disabled arm, he said that when he entered the industry, he didn't want to come and present himself as a person with a disability just to gain the fame and, you know, to merge in the industry.
True.
But rather, he wanted to use his skills as a great DJ to perform and do the great music, do the mixing and all that stuff, so that people appreciate his work more than what he is less with. So I really admire that. I think a lot of us need that, because today we are able, but who knows? Let's not take this disability as a start back.
And you know, like what I did is saying, for him, he thought that if he revealed the disability, people would sort of like mark him as a disabled,
and
brand him as a disabled DJ. So I think a lot of things that we miss out as a society is we look at disability as a tag instead of identifying someone living with that disability and going beyond the disability, the physical impairment, and appreciating that person for the talent. Because Black Coffee is a good-looking guy. I was actually looking at Samuel's photos. He's good. And he had everything going for him. The fact that he had his disability, nobody knew that this guy was disabled.
Yes, and okay, one thing I can say as we close this topic is that I had an opportunity to speak with the General Secretary of the World Amputee Football Federation. You know, there's this Amputee Football Federation where they play with one leg. They play football with one leg. And one thing that he told me that taught me a lot is that their sport is not a disabled sport. It's an abled sport. Because he used to tell the Ireland national team, two-legged national team captain who has played for big teams like Tottenham, Robbie Keane, he used to tell him that this is an abled sport because I can play soccer as well as you can play. But you can't do what I do, you know? Because what I do is I play with one leg. So at the end of the day, what we need to do with the people that we called disabled is that we shouldn't like feel pity about them, but show them that what you're trying to do, if you're trying to do something, what you're trying to do is bigger than somebody else who can do it with both legs, with both hands.
I haven't seen them
everything.
play. Are they as fast as other normal players?
No, okay, they're not as no. Which one do you mean? As
the
they as fast?
No,
as they as fast as normal players when they are using stretchers?
Yeah.
Or when
they're using stretchers?
Well, when also the normal players are using stretchers?
No.
Like when the normal players are using both hands, both legs? Obviously no. But when the normal players are trying to do what they do, they can't. So at the end of the day, they can do something better because they play football. That's the same football. But this is better. So like if you have a disabled person, the way you should handle them is not by showing them that you're disabled, but by showing them that what you're doing is bigger than all of us who are so-called able, because those are more able. Let's move on to another artist, a big artist in Africa. My favorite sometimes, techno. He has a song called Jogodo. It's like one of my favorites. But unfortunately, he's suffering from acid reflux, where the acid is coming from the stomach and it goes up. And he has made him some issues that ended into him going to the United States. What do you think of this, Hadija? This is a bad thing for all of Africans, especially Tanzanians who like Nigerian music.
I love techno. I've been listening to his songs mostly actually when I was pregnant. The point that my son, when we play those music, the ones that I loved listening to when I was pregnant, the baby actually knows the songs.
Because
so my baby is literally...
He could hear.
He is literally a techno fan. Believe me or not. He loves techno. So actually it was quite a sad news for me. I really like this guy. He's amazing. He's very talented. He has a great future ahead of him. But we're just wishing him quick recovery. We also have ours who's also sick, but we're also hoping that he also gets back into his feet. We're also missing him in the industry as well.
Yeah, but that also tells Nancy, that also tells people that the normal diseases that we have, also the artists have them. So we should, even if you're an artist, if you're a big person, you should take precautions with regard to these normal diseases that we think about.
It's terrible. It's terrible for techno, but the good thing is he received medical attention quick enough. You know, having
he's going to be back.
He'll be all right, and he'll keep producing the music that. He's so good at.
Our prayers go to techno so that he can come back stronger than he started. He's a small guy, but he's big. He's very big in his in the music industry. But our prayers also go to the Mara region, where a bus accident left more than 36 people dead. We've had a problem with these accidents now, and this was a face-to-face car accident. With regard to the speed limits that we have, what do you think? What do you think else can be done to reduce the number of accidents that we have in Tanzania, Nancy?
I think this time of the year, people are hyper. I don't know what's the hype for, because I remember watching a report from one of the police officers in Mara, and he was saying that given the condition of the road and the weather on the day, for an experienced driver, he shouldn't have carried on driving. So I'm thinking that we have a lot of unqualified or underqualified drivers behind the wheels, you know, putting a lot of lives at risk. And I know that Honorable President issued something in Bear about, you remember, Adija, that there was a terrible accident in Bear, and then he called the RPCs there to do more about this. But, you know, I don't know if a road accident will be taken seriously enough to actually save lives, because as the year comes to a close, we see more and more people impacted by, you
accidents.
know. Yes, so
it usually happens, and I wonder why, because despite all this stern measures being addressed all this long, we still have this kind of drivers on the roads. I really don't understand. I just cannot get the real picture of, because at the end of the day, you're part of the journey as well.
Sure.
Why are you taking this for granted?
But you see, the only problem is that this is not just in Tanzania. The only thing is that sometimes, because we don't have, like, we haven't traveled to so many countries, and we don't make follow-up on other countries, and there is something that they call the dashcam. Have you ever seen the videos, like like there's a program called like Destroyed in Seconds. There's those sorts of programs that show accidents live as they happen.
We've seen
now in the other countries, they have dash cams. It's a camera that's put on the dashboard, and it shows everything that's going on the road. And then when people record what's going on, like if they have a video of an accident, they just post it on YouTube. And then if you go to YouTube and search dashcam or accidents compilation, you'll see some accidents. You'll think about how did they capture this? Just because they have dashcams. Now I think this is a high time for us in Tanzania to have dashcams, because that way we get to know, like, what really caused the accident. Because I don't think it is right to just wait for the police to come and measure the area. I'm not, with all due respect, I'm not saying that the police are not doing a good job. But what I'm saying is, if we have a dashcam, it shows how the accident happened, exactly how it happened. You see? So I think this is something that we can come up with. Because first of all, for instance, the dashcams are personally, like, they are for your own advantage. Like if you post that video on YouTube and it has so many like followers and whatever, and you have so many of those, you can get paid actually from YouTube. So I think that's a high time for that to have, because for instance last week we had the whole day where there was no accident. But if you ask me, I'll be so reluctant as to know if that was true, because I'm not sure if the whole country had no accidents, because I'm not sure if all the accidents are being reported, right?
What kind of accidents that we're talking about?
Unreported.
Unreported. Like we usually have so many unreported accidents. I have seen so many accidents where people just like wake up and they're like, okay, how can we do this? Okay, are we going to the police? No.
Like,
can I pay you? Yes. Just go home and I go home.
What beats me is the casual attitude of drivers. That's what's so heartbreaking for me, that there is this attitude that of almost I don't care.
Yeah, that's one. The second, because yesterday I almost had an accident. I was coming from a wedding, and around Tabata, and just if I was using my phone, I would have had an accident. Somebody came in from a bar, and when he came in, he just came in like in the middle of the road.
Wow.
Yeah, I just had to shift. Like if I was going on my track and then using my phone or doing something stupid, then I would have had an accident. And guess what? They were running from the police, because there were police. This was 12 at night, so they were running from the police who were like checking the alcohol level. So they were running from the police like real fast. And then he forgot, like, I think because of alcohol or something. So I think it's a mixture. of having like bad drivers and drunk drivers, and that's very, very, very bad. And I think we can. It's very important for us.
The thing is, we never like get to hear the outcome, sort of like whatever investigation is carried out, we never get to hear what happened.
They end easily.
No, for those who
even
don't
if
die.
Even if they go to the police, they stay there for one night, and then in the morning they get off.
Scot-free.
They're like, oh, I was drunk yesterday, but now I'm driving. Yeah,
but I hope for a day or for a time to come that this kind of accidents, actually the big kind of accidents, we should say goodbye to them, because a lot of people are actually traveling, as you said earlier, during this holiday season. But I believe 78% of the people traveling at this time, they're not so sure if they will reach the final destination safely.
Yes. That's very, very true. Now I end with this, with a story from a movie. Like this, if you know this movie, you'll be very, very excited about it. It was a movie called Arthur, by that British comedian who was saying that he was caught by the police, by the officers, because of drunk driving. And then when he was caught, he's a rich kid, and he was asked, Arthur, you're drunk again? And he was like, no, sir. Actually, I have remained drunk since our last encounter. So I'm not drunk again. I've just been drunk all over. That's a challenge. Being caught by the police is a challenge. And we're going to take a very short break. But when we come back, we're going to talk about those challenges. Will those challenges make you change? So stay tuned. And then you'll be also able to call us and talk about this for a little while. Let's take a very short break, and then we'll be back.
Mamlaka ya Maendeleo ya Biashara Tanzania, TanTrade, inawakaribisha wamiliki wa viwanda vidogo, vya kati na vikubwa kushiriki maonesho ya 3 ya bidhaa za viwanda Tanzania kuanzia tarehe 5 hadi 9 Disemba 2018 katika uwanja wa maonesho wa Mwalimu JK Nyerere, barabara ya Kilwa, Dar es Salaam. Lengo la maonesho haya ni kujenga jukwaa la wadau wa sekta ya viwanda na biashara kujadiliana, kubadilishana uzoefu na kutangaza fursa zilizopo katika sekta hizi. Aidha, maonesho haya yatatoa fursa na hamasa kwa Watanzania kutumia bidhaa na huduma zinazozalishwa na viwanda vilivyopo nchini. Tafadhali thibitisha ushiriki wako kwa kupakua fomu kwenye tovuti www.tantrade.go.tz. Kwa maelezo zaidi, piga simu namba 0715484452 au 0754265822. Hakuna kiingilio kwa watembeleaji. Tanzania, sasa tunajenga viwanda.
Well, there's a huge difference between a problem and a challenge. If you think of it as a problem, it means it's unsolvable. But when you think of it as a challenge, then it can build you. Now we're trying to speak about the challenges building you or changing you in further instances. Remember, you can talk to us. We're going to speak about, do challenges make you change or do they just destroy you? Tunazungumzia, je, changamoto zinaweza kukufanya ubadilike ama zinaweza kukufanya upoteze kabisa dira ya maisha? Tupigie simu kupitia 0677-333-000 0677-333-000. Just do call us through 0677-333-000 or 0677-333-000 and tell us, what do you think about challenges and how they can make you change, especially for you viewers who are watching. Now, let's start with our DJ, because you're like, you've been in ITV for a while. You've had challenges. For instance, let's start with work. Do you think the challenges that you face at work have changed you? And if it is yes, you can tell us why or how. And if they haven't, tell us how.
Okay. Being A woman.
Okay.
There are a lot of things involved. You need to know that, and people need to appreciate that. We need to really be appreciated.
Okay.
And that starts with the way we're being groomed in this building. You know, being led with a woman who actually wants the rest of the female in this building to grow. The experience of growing has not been easy, to be honest, but you have to take this as a challenge, is what you said. There's a difference between a problem and a challenge. If you always think of things coming your way as problems, you'll never succeed. But seeing them as a challenge, it means that you can go through them, struggle as much as you can, but you have to win at the end of the day. So there are a lot of challenges happened, especially the transitions. You know, I started here as a very young girl. I was 23 years, and then I got married, and a few months later I got pregnant, you know, and then coming back with a baby, you still have to work. You still have to perform the same and even better. That's what people are expecting. But going through those and coming up with successes, I call them successes. I don't call them as passage era. No, I call them as successes. Every era is a success and has been a success because with me, I take these things positively. And when I take the challenges positively, I can come up with the solution. And the solution will lead me where I want to go.
Yes.
So that is the small journey that I believe that a challenge is never a problem, and every challenge ends up with a success story.
Nancy.
Well, they say challenges, problems, they're like sandpaper. You don't go through a problem, rather you don't go through problems and you remain the same. Something has to change, you know, and it depends how you take it. If you take it positively, it has a way of sort of like transforming you.
Exactly.
Yes.
But then if you take it negatively, that becomes the end of you because you are then not able to get over the problem and deal with the problem and move on.
Exactly.
So the way you deal with a challenge, number one, yes, is to resolve the issue, but also you're able to get beyond that issue and move on to better things.
I like telling people stories because the stories are the ones that change people really. Now, one of my mentors, his name is Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. He's a big person who talks about positive thinking. He met his friend, and his friend was asking, when he asked a friend, how are you? Now, that was a very big mistake. The guy started telling him problems, challenges after challenges, problems. I'm going to die very soon. And Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, who was also a preacher, told him, you know, I know of a place where you can go where there are no problems, and I know of a person who can get you there. There are at least 150,000 people living there, and they are not having problems. They're actually there. They're not living there, but they're there. So there's no problem. And when the guy asked him, Doctor, where's this place? Because I would love to be there. He told him it's the Florida Cemetery. So he was talking about a cemetery. You know why he said that? Because that's where nobody has problems. Like if you go to Sinza Makaburini, no one has problems there because they are already dead, which means problems are a sign of life. You see? So if you don't have any problem, you should go back to your house and ask God, why don't you give me any problems? Now with me, I believe that challenges are a sign of life. Do you believe so, Nancy?
I do, Seba. I do, because I heard this pastor preaching one day saying that you're either out of a challenge or you're actually going to meet your next challenge. So life is full of challenges, and for me, when I was growing up, I used to struggle a lot because if I get a challenge, I want to resolve it now, thinking like tomorrow I will not have a challenge.
Okay.
But now I'm older and wiser. I've come to sort of like handle challenges and problems differently. You know, I know that problems don't make me, in a sense that they do not define me.
Yes.
I may have a problem, yet I have a life, I have those I love around me, my life is going on. So it's one of those things you just have to deal with. It's out of the way, you move on to the next thing. So I've learned to be happy in my challenges and my problems, which is is a nicer way to do things like that, because then people cannot look at Hadija and think Hadija today had this problem or Nancy had this problem, because
everybody has problems.
True, Seba. So if you're able to deal with the issues positively, it means that people can look at Hadija and say, oh, she looks so pretty. They will never know what Hadija is going through or what Nancy is going through.
Yeah.
And the problem is people like to wear problems on their faces.
That's
Yeah, just to show people that I have so many problems. Like Hadija can attest to this. Hadija, when we both started at the same university with Hadija, and there was a lecturer of business administration called Dr. Loti. I don't know if you remember him well, but he gave us a leaders seminar, because I was the speaker of the students' government. So he gave us like a training of some sort, and he was teaching us about problem solving. He gave us an example. I think it was the years before, I said 2010 or 2011, and actually the student fees they went up a lot. We who studied in Tubaini, we know about this a lot. Now it went up a lot, and so 5 students went to him, and they were like, we want to protest, we want to be included in the protest, but we just came to like ask for advice from you. So he told them, like, you can take this problem as something that can change you, or you can take this as a problem that you can protest about. The disadvantages of protesting a problem is that it will never change. It's just the problems will just keep on coming.
You're
You're just resisting
because
them.
you have not solved them.
Yeah, so you just can take them and then try to change from that. So he advised them that you can try as harder as you can to find a job and make sure that you can pay the school fees, because the school fees, I promise you, will never go down. So 3 of the people decided to search for jobs a little bit more, because when we're in school we try to find jobs where we know that we can pay, like the parents can pay, so we we're searching for them like a little bit. But then the 3 decided and they got the jobs. The 2 of them decided to protest, and they were expelled. They were like removed from the university, and they were never gotten back. So what the lesson there is, you can try and change from the problem, and it can make you like try harder to get somewhere. Guess what? After all the students finished 3rd year, those 3 students already had jobs. But the other people who could pay school fees, who had no problem about paying school fees. So what I mean here is challenges really can't say.
And the thing about challenges, I think it raises your stake in life.
Yes.
It's sort of like the things you aim for and the goals you want to achieve, they get bigger. Because you think, I was able to conquer this, I can do that.
Yes, Adi.
That's why they always say, easy come, easy go.
Yes.
So when it easily comes, it can easily go. Imagine living a life without a challenge.
Yes.
How boring will that be?
It would be boring.
I wish everybody would take this positively. That's my song. Take things positively as how they come.
And you know, like,
sometimes they might trigger you and push you at the edge, but if you stay positive, you stay focused.
Yes.
And never, ever, ever wear your crown of problems. You should never wear the crown of your problems.
You shouldn't.
You have to keep them to yourself, because it's a challenge that you're going through. I got mine, she got hers, you got yours.
Yeah.
And it's a process.
And nobody's challenges are bigger than everybody else. I'm just reminding you that I wish that you can call us again. Just call us through 0677 333 000 and tell us what you think about the challenges. Tupigie kupitia 0677333000. Tuambie wewe unafikiriaje kuhusu changamoto za maisha na namna ambavyo zinaweza kubadilisha.
And actually, to add on that, I remember watching this clip on Denzel Washington.
Yes.
He was saying that is a greater threat to progress than hardship.
Yes.
So I think there's a lot to be achieved and gained from going through hardship rather than having your life just easy.
Yes, that's true. Let me give you an example. I work out, so I can give this example. Like how the muscle grows. A muscle has to be destroyed for it to grow.
Really?
Yeah, that's when we're working out in the gym, like to grow a bicep or a tricep. You're destroying the muscle.
Serious?
Yeah, it has to die. And then
how
you have
far
to
does
eat.
it die?
It dies completely.
Trying to, really?
Yeah, it dies completely. And then that's why you're told to eat more protein. so that the protein can build a bigger muscle. So when the muscle comes back, it becomes bigger. That's why when you're comfortable, when you're not feeling the pain, you're not killing the muscle, it cannot grow back. You see, and when it can't grow back, it becomes normal. It just becomes the same muscle. It just, just hurts a little bit, and then it becomes the same. So that's why we're saying nothing ever grows in comfort zones. You have to be uncomfortable for you to grow. Take an example if you're here at work, and everything is just you're doing the same job. I try to give an example of a school bus driver, a normal school bus driver who doesn't try to be creative. He wakes up the same time.
He actually doesn't need to. He
drives the same time. He does the same things every day. He can be creative. He can start songs inside there so that he can be creative. We have Georgina from Mwanza. Tuambie, Georgina, how are you? Georgina, karibu. Hello, Georgina. Yes.
Yes, Seba.
Yes, hello, Georgina. We hear you. Talk to us.
All right, and I just love the fact that you say that changes bring about life. When you have changes, that means you're still alive and kicking. And that's very much true. As I can refer to my job, it's quite challenging, and the only difficult job is the one that we currently have. If you don't have any job, then you won't have anything difficult to do. So, yes, challenges are a part of life, and we should embrace them positively and work toward them to just change for better. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I could hear Georgina a little bit, but like if Georgina, if you can call us again, we'll be very, very happy to get your call again, because the first one we're having some challenges. But I heard what she was saying. She was trying to say that this is very true. Like she was agreeing with what I was saying, and she has a very, very beautiful voice. So I was like, sometimes, but what I'm saying is, she was agreeing with it. She was saying that when you get a job, it's easy.
True.
You can't grow from an easy job. Like why do they call ITV like the university of bringing up journalists? It's because it's hard being here. It's not easy being here. Like just getting in here is hard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You have to like getting in here. Yeah, you have to pull a muscle.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as it's supposed to be, right, Hadija? Hadija, I know you know this because you've been here for a long time.
It's not easy because I remember when I came here for my very first interview, I was actually back in university.
Yes.
I was on my second year by that time when I came here.
Yeah.
Just on the interview, the big lady, Joyce Mavila, she was like, girl, I think you need to go back to school. You're not ready for this work.
You're too young.
She said that to me, and I was like, oops, okay. I thought my English was so good for me to go to Capital. But no, it wasn't all about the English. It was not all about the looks. It wasn't all about that you are at the university. But there was more into the basket that is needed.
And that changed you, right?
When I came back, she was like,
okay.
Have we ever met before?
Okay, you're a different person now.
No, she didn't even recognize me until Mr. Koigi told her, like, she was here before.
How long after did you come back?
A year.
A year.
Okay.
So when I came back, Mr. Koigi told her, like, she was here before.
You changed.
Oh,
so that was a problem.
You've learned.
So
You've learned
what
more.
if you took that challenge and just got
never
laid back and
came
you said,
back
no, I'm not a journalist
I
material.
remember that day I cried from when I left this office back to university.
You were like, this is a bad lady. Why?
I cried literally the whole day. I never knew Yvonne Msemembo by that time. I just met her at the interview. But believe me or not, Yvonne called me 3 times that day. She never knew me. But she looked for my number. She called me. And all the time that she called me, I was still crying.
Why?
I said, don't cry. Get yourself ready and come back when you feel better.
So it changed you.
Yeah.
And I came back.
Look where you are right now.
You have to come in a different way.
We have Mr. Chinge from Songea. Mr. Chinge, tuambie, habari yako?
Nzuri. Habari ya studio yako?
Salama kabisa. Tuambie.
Ase fresh. I'm talking from Songea.
Okay, talk to us, man.
I've been making follow-up on the program.
Thank you.
And of course I have something to say on the topic.
Okay.
There's no doubt that life can be tough, and sometimes even it seems downright unfair.
Uh-huh.
But what I've discovered from the discussion you have been making, the great thing is making it positive, to be a positive thinker in a great way. Even when life is the toughest, even when you are battling more than your share of disappointments, you can rise above adversity and find new hope and true happiness in your life. Okay, but how do I think this you should share this message in Kiswahili so as more people
No problem.
can understand what you are talking.
Yeah, twende endelea tu.
Naam?
Endelea tu hata Kiswahili sasa.
Yeah. I think nafikiri natakiwa mwana share this message kwa Kiswahili zaidi kwa sababu of course ulimwengu wa Tanzania sisi hamna vipindi ambavyo vinazungumzia inspirational na vitu vya positive thinking. Yeah, most of programs zinakuwa zinazungumzia burudani na vitu kama hivyo. Kwa these topics are rare na inatakiwa zifikie watu wengi zaidi kwa sababu mwisho wa siku watu tunaozisikia at least ingawa hatujafikia pale lakini at least tumepiga hatua kidogo yani tofauti na Watanzania walio wengi. Kwa hiyo you can just twist it zikawepo data za Kiswahili ili tukasikia kwa uzuri sana.
Thank you very much, Chinge.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
nice.
Okay, now we are thinking about starting this. We have a program coming up which will also be in Swahili, and it will be about positive thinking.
Yeah.
One of my mentors again, because I'm a public speaker, so I have so many mentors who are public
And you
speakers. is Zig
started
Ziglar.
public speaking long, Sarah.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know about your university thing. You're standing there pitching for all the students.
Okay, so we have I have one of the people called Zig Ziglar. He's deceased now.
You know Zig
But
Ziglar?
he used to say that positive thinking won't help you perform everything
Okay.
or anything, but it will help you do everything better than negative thinking would. So if you have a challenge, you have positive thinking and negative thinking.
Yeah.
If you decide to use negative thinking, positive thinking will help you better than the negative thinking.
Sure,
So at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt to use the better thing, right?
Yes.
It's
And
just
in
easy.
addition to
Yeah.
that, I think it gives you that sort of like push.
Yes.
Yeah. Rather than, because when you think about something negatively, I think even your spirit is down.
You know Jim Quick? Jim Quick is an American who had a challenge when he was very
Who's
young.
Jim Quick?
Jim Quick. He's a motivational speaker, but he's right now. I'll start with the story before saying
Okay.
what he is now.
Okay.
So Jim Quick was a guy who had a brain accident, like a head accident when he was very young. So he had some challenges like remembering things, like even understanding things in school. So the teachers had to repeat something like 3-4 times, and then the fifth time he would just say, okay, as if he understands, and he didn't understand. But at the end of the day, right now, he's a person who helps people. He's a professional in remembering things, you know? Yeah, he's a mental professional. Like, he helped me in remembering issues. I used to say that I'm not good with remembering names, but now I will never say that. Never,
What helps you
because of the things that he says. So he has some issues. You can just go and search him.
But that shows that nobody should never say never.
Yes, because he had the challenge of not even understanding the normal things that people say.
Did he have
But right
to
now he's a
self-train?
professional. Like,
Yeah.
he's a professional in remembering, because he decided to think that if I keep on telling myself that I can't do this, I can't because my brain.
Do it. You will
Okay,
never do it.
we have Franklin from Kilimanjaro. Franklin, karibu. Hello.
Hello, hi.
How are you, Frank?
I'm good.
We are good, man. Tell us, what do you think about challenges? Can they make you change?
First of all, you guys look good there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I hope you're talking about the two of them. No, I mean, thank you.
The ladies look good. You look fine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's go back to the topic.
Uh-huh.
Okay, about do challenges make you change?
Uh-huh.
I think it depends on the attitude of the person on the picture.
Okay.
So if you face a challenge and you take it on a positive note, I think it can make you change in a good way.
Okay.
But if you are a negative person, I think you just remain the same as you were. So I think to change depends on the person involved in the situation, the person who has faced the challenge.
Thank you very much, Frank. Okay, I mean, he's basically saying what we all have been saying here.
Yes.
Yeah, he just gave us the right words for it, and we are very, very thankful for you, Frank, from Kilimanjaro. Like, if you take it a problem positively, it becomes a positive thing to you. But if you take it negatively, for instance, I myself say moms, like you guys, are the most creative people on earth.
We are.
And the creativity comes from challenges. For instance, one day our house help decided, like, she was so angry, so she decided, my mom bought some chicken, so we wanted to cook some chicken, and she decided to like put like all the salt in the world in that chicken, so that we can't, we can never like eat it properly. And then she said she was full, so she can't eat, because she knew what she did. You know what my mom did? And this is a recipe. This is a secret I'm giving you guys. And you're on a culinary delight, so you know what to do. So what she decided to do is she took the chicken and she was like, no, this is cool, no problem. Because she tasted it, and then somebody tasted it, and she was like, okay, put it back, just give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. And then she went back to the kitchen and came back, and the chicken had no salt.
Really?
And we were like, what did she do? You know what she did? She just decided to like recook the chicken, but with tomatoes, with tomatoes, because the tomatoes need salt. So when you put the tomatoes there,
I would never guess.
It absorbs the salt.
I would never have guessed.
So that was a challenge.
Yeah,
now that changed me. The other thing that she used to do is that when rice is cooked and it's overcooked, like she peels an onion and then puts it in the middle, and then just
I've had of onion.
Yeah, if you do that,
it doesn't burn.
Most people don't know that.
It doesn't burn.
Yeah, most people
it doesn't bring that burning
flavor.
Yeah.
It changes the flavor. It absorbs all the flavor.
It absorbs all of it.
So that's creativity, but it comes from problems. It's because of the challenges that happen. Yeah.
And I think women, we were created to be like that, don't you
Creative,
think, Khadija?
I think so
Because we
too.
multitask so much.
Yeah.
If a guy is supposed to do all the things as women do, gosh.
It will be a very big problem. Okay, so we have agreed. We have agreed here that challenges can make you change if you take them positively. We're going to take a very, very short break, and then when we come back here, we're going to give you a challenge of not laughing at these memes.
As we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand. You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Yes, and we're back. Sebastian Kolowa, DJ Zimbo, and Nancy Masengo. We're going to check a few things that can make us laugh a little bit before we think about the next day. Let's check the first one. Dear age mates, please stop getting married. You guys are making our parents think we're not serious.
Absolutely.
That's not our fault. I don't think that's not our fault, because if you decide not to get married, that's up to you.
But when you see your fellows getting married, you're getting stressed up, and your parents will be like, okay, what's going on with you?
Now you have seen the next one. Okay, what about you?
But it's stress on the parents because I think every parent feels proud when their child, you know.
Do they love the ceremony or the marriage?
I think they love the step.
Another step.
Another step.
Yeah, exactly. They just put it nicely.
And when they come with their fellows and they're like, okay, my son is getting married. But I think another problem is not the parents. It's like, especially with girls, like you in a group of 5 girlfriends, and all of them are getting married, and you're like, I'm here, I'm chilling, I'm single, ready to mingle. Let's check the next meme. Let's check next one. Job interview for a security guard. Interviewer. Can you speak English? God, will the thieves come from England?
Absolutely. Like,
I mean, he lost that one. No, but you really have to be asked that, because sometimes not everybody that comes to knock at the door is a thief. Somebody is come to ask, okay, can I see the boss? And you're like, hakuna Kiswahili hapa, hakuna Kiingereza hapa. And you're like, okay,
like, what?
Speak English. Yeah, it depends with the job, right?
Are you here to steal or ask questions?
Yeah, some people are not coming to steal. Some people are not coming to steal. But the only thing that we can talk about there is that sometimes the guards, like, they overdo it. They overdo with the questions. Like, I was in some of these offices, the IPP offices, and I heard not here in ITV. I heard a guest was asked, like, you're going to the accounts office, what are you going there for?
Come on.
And I was like, are you sure you need to be the one asking that question? Like, somebody, oh, you're coming for an interview. Why? Which department? I would not advise you to come interview now, because I don't think they're accepting.
But then a lot of security guards have this sense of self-entitlement. A lot of them.
I wonder if it is just in Africa or even other parts of the world.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next meme. Online marketing. Mungu anawaona. This is the cake niliwaambia mumtumie mtoto wangu, mtoto amelia hadi amelala. I'm surprised alilia too. I thought like she will pass out. Like he will pass out. Like, oh,
it's so scary.
Jamani.
It's so scary.
And with this era right now, and I'm glad that we have a cake baker here. Like,
is it possible for someone
to
can
you make that one or that one
different?
It is true, you know, as a baker, you know, there are times that when you're starting the business, you feel like you know everything. So when people come to you, you wear the confidence and be like, yes, I can pull it out. It's easy. It's easy. It's just a cartoon like that. No, don't worry. So I just go bake the cake and I do my decorations and stuff with the buttercream and all that. And then here it is.
Voila.
And if you do it, accept it. Practice before before you insult yourself.
Khadija is a good baker. I cannot bake to save my life. But when I used to try, I know when I used to try, guys, I could look at something on the net and see like,
looks
I can
easy.
make, and then I will not be able to do it. But
it breaks your
It's like drawing. It's like drawing. You see something and you're like, I can draw that.
Baking is not easy.
Terrible.
Baking is
just
not.
don't,
Baking
like,
is not.
I think you should not take people's money before you do that. Let's check the last meme. When your mom calls your name and you fake sleep and your mom tells someone else to do it, okay? And you're like, okay. No, that didn't work with me, because my mom was like, this only you can do it. So I'm like, and then she used to have, and moms have tricks. They are, like I said, they are creative. They'll be like, if I call your name too much, it's because I love you more than everybody else.
Yeah,
you're like,
I think there's some truth in that.
No, I don't think so. I just think they just want you to do the thing.
No.
I think they know that you can do it better than everybody else.
As a mom, I can. It's like the name that comes.
Most of the time.
Yes.
It's because you like them. It's not because they can do that thing.
No.
Maybe you can ask someone. You have 2 kids. you ask someone to do it and they can't do it as perfect as Seba, and you're like, all the time, if I call them, they won't do it. So if I call Seba, he will do it.
No way.
No, I think I'm a kind of mother that I like pulling more the person who doesn't like doing it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm that kind of a mother. I will call this person more because I know her pain.
But at the end of the day, if you're the kid, if your mom calls you and then she decides to go somebody else, you'll be like, okay, cool. I'm glad. Like with me and washing dishes, that was always happening because I don't like washing dishes. I can iron. Like
but not
every
washing
time,
dishes.
but not wash dishes.
Think
Thank you
that's
very
why
much.
you're marrying it soon.
Yeah, thank you very much, Aditya. Thank you very much, Nancy.
Thank
You've been
you.
absolutely stunning, and you look very beautiful, as one of our callers said. And thank you, the callers who call us today on Cap Chat. We'll be speaking about a lot of things, some sad news, some good news. But we pray for the people who are sick, the likes of Techno and others, and the ones that lost their loved ones in accidents, the likes of that of Mara. We have so many positivity to think about, and the positivity can make you change your life and become a better person and make the world a better place to live. I'm your host Sebastian Kolo saying bye-bye. Just keep on watching Capital Television.